Alright, guys, so I gotta be a little quiet. My girlfriend's sleeping in the living room, but I got my dad's HPI Savage right here. It's a 4.6 Savage X. Um, we were talking about it earlier, and I was messing around with that earlier today while I was out there and the mud truck. I, of course, I forgot to get clips of it, but I could get some later on. Um, but I got that thing to run the other day, just messing around with it, off camera. And I took it out there today, and the thing just didn't really want to run, and I was having issues with it all day. So, um, me and my dad were talking because he's got the XTM that he's got at his house now that was in this cubby here. Um, the nitro stuff, they're great, but the electric, at least to me, and I'm sure my dad's starting to see it too, is the electric stuff. Like, say, my Max Slash, you throw a battery or two in, plug them in, turn it on, you're done. The only thing with the battery stuff is you gotta, like, keep an eye on motor temps and charge a battery here and there, and a little maintenance. Nothing as much as like anything nitro. Like my Nitro Slash down here, which I did actually go ahead and put everything back in. I'll probably do a quick short on this in a little bit, but everything's back together. I put a new spur gear in it, and everything seems decent. I did end up changing the ESC mount in there. It's on the drift car chassis. It had like a carbon fiber mount, so I made that work on there. But anyway, back to what we were saying. This thing, the motor that it had, I'll show you in a second. It ran okay, but the little underhead piece that goes under the top of it for like the cooling fins there, the glow plug hole stripped out on it. So we got a different one. It's in there now, but the motor's not in the truck right now. But what we were talking about is possibly converting this to electric. Now, I did a little research. The Savage Flux is the electric version. The transmission and everything seems like it'll fit in here, but I don't think we're going to do that. What I went ahead and did off camera, with my girlfriend sleeping, I'm trying not to film a whole lot, be loud or anything. Plus, it's all kind of fiddly stuff. It's kind of hard to get on camera. I went ahead and pulled all the nitro stuff off. Fuel tank, extra throttle and brake turbo, and the motor, and I pulled the tranny out of it. And so these things have a 2-speed transmission in them. So this is your main drive gear, and then you got this would be for your 2-speed, and this is where your spur gear, your spur gear slipper deal comes in. Now, I thought originally this thing would have plastic gears like the Revo did, but this thing actually seems a lot better, a little more stout. It does have 2 plastic gears for the drive. That's just your final drive gear. This is either first or second. I'm not 100% sure. Kind of hoping it's second. I believe it is. Just because the gearing is a little bit tighter. I'm not 100% sure. It may be first. We could always kind of gear it around. Get a different size spur gear. This is a 47, and then I have a 13 and a 14 that's for the Revo, but when he gets the special motor mount, it comes with more pinions. So we'll kind of figure out gearing later on. Plus, he doesn't need it to be super fast. But anyway, so what I did to lock these out, because it's either you could buy a kit to do it, I'm sure, or you could get the brushless transmission out of one of these, or you could kind of figure out something like I did. So what I did was I took this gear out. This is the back one that has the clutch on it, which I assume, now thinking about it, this is probably second gear. And then right now this clutch is just on here for spacing, but right inside there, that middle set screw, you pull that out, and then there's a threaded pin to keep this in. You pull that out, pop this off, and then I would pop the bearing that's out of here, which you can see down there, just for the spacing. Take the gear off, and then what you could do is this metal gear for the final drive assembly, you kind of just, with the snap ring in there, is kind of a pain, but like right in the middle of the two ears on the snap ring, I drilled through, and then right there I drilled through as well. And then, I mean, even with these bolts being long and nothing hits, it seems like everything's going to be just fine. I kind of snap everything together. I gotta see which way this goes again. I think it goes this way. Yeah. See, it's got forward and reverse. Because before, with a lot of these nitro transmissions, they only go forward. There is no reverse in them, unless, kind of like the Revos, some of them have reverse, some don't have them. But for this thing, it being a forward only truck, you gotta figure out a way to lock it out, especially going to electric. So all the mesh is good. It spins freely. I haven't fully tried it with the case on. I figured I'd get a little bit of stuff on video. I'm just gonna get it sorted on there. Yeah, nothing hits. You can see it is spinning. Nothing's hitting. Everything seems good in there. I don't know what the exact drive ratio is gonna be. I'm not really super worried about it, but this should be able to take a beating. We're probably just gonna do a 4S system, sort of kind of like what the Mega Truck's on and the Revo's on. I'm actually gonna send him a link to the motor I have for that and a speed controller, just because like the speed controller I have for it, the Revo down there, I got from work for free out of the trash can. It needed a new servo wire or sensor wire or whatever put on, so I did that. And then I'm probably going to send him a link to the battery tray that goes in that. If it was also in that too. Never seen it. It's the red battery tray. I have it sitting right here. Just a simple little universal battery tray. And then I don't know exactly where we're gonna mount that. I'm gonna try and see if I could do like on the side of the frame rail or something. We'll figure that out at some point. It does still have a servo in it for the steering. That's all we're gonna need. And then the other thing I'm gonna have to try and figure out is something with the ESC mounting. That's gonna be definitely a little trickier. I may try and make something to come off the front of this and kind of mount it off of here maybe. We'll see when we get to that point. I probably won't get parts for this for a week or two, but we will definitely see on this. Once I get more parts, I'll do more videos on it. But with the motor that came out of it, it's your typical HPI. I think this is actually a 5.9 block, but I was messing with it earlier. The Traxxas Easy Start system actually fits on here. You do have to space out the what you call it, the housing to the Easy Start a little bit, but not a big deal. It does work. I gotta go and get some longer screws for it tomorrow. But eventually I want to build a big block high speed Traxxas Jado, and this thing's got a shit ton of compression, and I had it on that truck originally before the glow plug had the issue where it stripped out the hole. I had it on there, ran it a couple times, and that thing hauled ass. Like, it would spin the tire and then just wheelie, and not a bad motor, but with the nitro stuff, they're kind of expensive to run, and they're a pain to maintain over time. So we're gonna switch that to electric, I believe. I mean, it's kind of no going back, really. I mean, we can, but we're probably not gonna. I think maybe $100 in parts, maybe 150. You know, we'll say 150 bucks for. I think that battery tray I showed you is like 10-15 bucks on Amazon. The motor was 50. We'll say 50 bucks. ESC, I could probably find a deal with the motor and ESC for $100 or something like that. And then he'll have to get a couple batteries, which I'll probably send him the link to these. I ran these in the mud truck earlier today. These things for 75 bucks on Amazon for 2 of them. I'm very happy with them. They're punchy, and they seem like they last a decent amount of time. So I'm happy with those. But it's really all I got. I haven't really worked on anything else. I was going to, like I said, I was going to get some video of that today, but I forgot all about it. That thing, eventually I do want to do some type of build on it. I'm just not sure what I want to do. Over there, the touring car little nitro deal that the Camaro body was on, I still don't know what I'm doing with that motor. I gotta pull the head off of it and see what's going on. But MaxSlash, it's got broken bumper, bent center drive shaft. Hopefully my parts get here sometime this week, probably. And then the Nitro Slash, which, I'll show you real quick. It's not a big deal. You already seen me putting the thing together, but now I could show you it kind of finalized. Come on now. Of course, with this Revo right here, it's a pain to get out. Because why wouldn't it be? Now, I haven't fully ran this. I did burnouts on my table with it, but just to test it. Of course, the 1.3S battery that fit perfectly in here, I actually gave to my dad when I brought his crawler over. But the other ones, they fit in here. They're just a little bit too long, so they have to hang up a little bit. Not a huge deal. But as you can see, motor and pinion is in there. It's got just enough gap in there where it's not going to hurt anything. But that's all set. And then, like I said, the ESC is on a different mount, which actually works better for the motor wires. And then the battery cables will actually reach wherever they need to go. So that's about all I've done today. I got this thing ready for a Jado. I might build a run stand for it just to kind of run it, tune it, whatever. Because I do want to tune it on the 30%. Yes, it is Traxxas fuel. I want to switch to VP soon. But I just don't really run nitro right now. And that's just what I had left over from that when I was still nitro. If you're interested in all the parts on this, I have a video going over it before it was converted. And then I have a video of doing the conversion. So, but yeah, that's a kind of a little update, little plan on the HPI. I gotta find some parts for it. Integy, the same company that makes these shocks, they make a whole like upgrade kit for the Nitro Slash, and then they made my motor mount that's in the Revo down here, right here. I don't know if their brand name is on it anywhere, but it's all very solid pieces of like CNC aluminum, typical stuff. They do sell a kit for this. They're out of stock on their site, but I found another site that has one in stock. It's like 40 bucks, about the same price I paid for that. And I think theirs might actually come with a battery tray. I don't remember, but we'll see when that all gets all figured out. And plus, I'm not sure if he's ready to pull the trigger on parts right now, because some of this stuff definitely gets expensive. We do need to get another drive shaft for the front. Not a huge deal. And then once we get that, everything should be relatively kind of ready to bolt on and go in wherever it needs to. I did get these Integy tools. These things are actually very nice. I don't know why, like, some of these are standard and then some of these are metric in the kit, if it'll kind of focus on it. Yeah, 2.5 mil. This kit came with standard and metric, but I noticed all the standard fits the appropriate metric one just fine, and I haven't stripped a single thing out with those. The Traxxas toolkit for 25 bucks with everything it comes with, it's great for starting out and using it as a to-go bag. But if you're doing a lot of custom work, messing with stuff all the time, I would definitely get something a little better. I mean, I paid $35 for 6 screwdrivers. So, yeah, for right now, that's going to be it. I'm going to probably build a run stand, and I'll get all that stuff kind of put together on a stand and show you guys that. But for now, that's going to be it. A little, not really a short video, but shorter and not a whole lot of content. But that'll be it for today. We'll probably see you tomorrow. Maybe I'll get that run stand done and see if the thing will fire up. But alright, we'll see you guys in the next one.